ease your hangover symptoms. Family physician and college health expert, Dr. Jill Grimes. Happy New Year, Dr. Jill. Thanks for taking the time to be here. Let's start with the basics. Walk us through what happens to the body when someone is hungover.
Okay, well, Happy New Year to you too. The basics, everyone knows about the headache. The major thing that alcohol does is it is a diuretic, so it causes dehydration, and that alone will cause a headache. However, it also causes vasodilation, so the blood vessels dilate in your head, and that can cause a headache. It also can cause mild electrolyte abnormalities, like a little bit of low potassium or sodium, and it directly irritates your stomach lining. So we know we get nausea. You also get nausea from irritating your liver. It makes you sleepy, but it actually impairs your quality of sleep. So now you've got sleep deprivation added on, which contributes to some brain fog. And more we're recognizing the importance of an inflammatory response to alcohol, and that is part of the whole achy body and brain fog syndrome.
It's like you list all of the symptoms and
I'm never drinking again.
Ooh, yeah, this is like real rough. When it comes to really curing a hangover, what is the #1 thing to do? Especially as like you go into the store and they got all these drinks now and with electrolytes and the powder thing. I mean, is that what we need to do?
Actually, I am a fan of the electrolyte supplements that you can, just the little powders that you can add to your water bottle. And plain water is okay, but because of that little bit of electrolyte imbalance, it is, and actually you retain fluids better when you drink those rehydration drinks. So I definitely am more a fan of that. But here's the key: do not use a straw. Many people, they're laying down and they're barely, sticking the straw in their mouth to try and get through it. If you use a straw, you introduce more air into your stomach. If you're already nauseous, that's not going to help. It's actually going to make it worse.
Wow, I never knew that.
This is why we're here.
Right out of the start of the gate this year. We're learning something.
January 1st, off the bat. Well, your TikTok actually, exactly.
Yeah.
And it serves as a great, a lot of people also get information from TikTok, and you've got one showing how anyone can deal with a hangover. But what are some common myths that you've seen out there, because that's the tool that everybody's on?
Well, coffee is probably the biggest myth, and that people think that you can sober up somebody who is drunk and or cure a hangover. But if you think about it, caffeine is a diuretic. And what did we just say? The biggest problem is that you're dehydrated. So you don't want to start putting in a bunch of coffee. Now, if you drink coffee every day and you would get a caffeine withdrawal headache, if you skip your coffee, go ahead and have a cup. But maybe just stick to one. So that's one of the biggest myths. Another myth is that have you ever heard that saying, beer before liquor, never sicker?
Right.
People think that there's a secret formula. If you drink beer first and then you have a hard liquors, that you're going to be fine and prevent a hangover. That's actually not true. I think there's a small grain of truth in it, in that if you are drinking beer, in general, you're going to consume less total alcohol, because the volume of beer actually fills you up. And so you may drink total less, but the order really doesn't matter.
Yeah, because everybody has that one friend that's like, guys, I've figured it out.
Yeah.
And that's how these myths begin, is that tall tale. Speaking of myths, there is a trend of TikTokers putting their face in a bucket of water to cure their hangovers. Is it a myth? Have they cracked the code?
I would love to tell you that there is one super easy answer that doesn't have a prescription, and that you could just walk in the kitchen and get some ice water in a bowl and shove your head in it and make it all go away. No. There may be some small benefit to some people, but honestly, if we're, keep in mind, I do a lot of college health. If you're dealing with people who are really hungover and nauseous, I would worry about them aspirating some water as they stick their head in there because of the shock of the cold, and I don't think there's a whole lot of upside to that one.
I'm just thinking of the person sitting on the couch hungover right now, and they just hear there is no easy cure for that hangover.
It's hydrate. Those little powders and the electrolytes.
Right. Sip on that. Take it easy, and then maybe advance to a like chicken noodle soup, the mother's
Okay.
cure-all, right? But that actually is very high in sodium, and it helps you retain the fluid. So
right.
once you can keep down Gatorade or electrolyte powder, whatever, then maybe advance to one of those broth soups.
Level
then
up.
crackers. Just slowly ease into it. Don't jump right into that garbage burrito that other people say cure a hangover.
Couldn't do it.
No. Well, family physician, college health expert, Dr. Jill Grimes, thank you so much for your expertise this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Happy New Year.